They all feel themselves that they have a lot to prove as individuals and as a team, as we have always talked about. And I'm excited for them. They're great people to work with, and I just believe that every big run that I get, or hopefully that I get, or all the other running backs get, they're going to say the offensive line did it, not me.
Thanks,
Donovan,
Donovan, Sharon doesn't seem to be shying away from expectations, goals, and winning championships again.
Hmm.
You guys lost obviously a lot offensively this year. Why is that still a realistic goal?
Because that's just the Michigan culture. Like, just because we lost a lot of players doesn't mean that we don't have anybody on our team. Like, we have tremendous, talented guys amongst our team, and we're gelling together. And this fall camp is going to be an exclamation mark of all the preparation that we've done since the end of the season last year, and then spring ball and the summer winter cycle. And I'm excited for fall camp, and all the other guys are excited as well.
Donovan, I noticed that when Coach Moore was up there, I think you're the only player I saw who actually came, and you were like clapping and giving applause.
Hell yeah.
Can you describe your two's relationship?
That's my guy. And that's the thing. Like, I don't do that for everybody. He's just such an amazing person because like he's a God fearing man. We have the same morals and the same interaction and the same communication skills. And just being able to get to know him, the past 6 years, right? 5, 6 years, whatever. Since he was recruiting me, he's never changed, and I admire him for that, and I respect him for that. And I've always said I'm gonna have his back throughout this whole season, and ultimately I'm playing for this team, for this university. I'm also playing for him.
Was that connection just kind of instant with you two?
I mean, it always was a growing process, but yes, like that's my guy, and I love and I respect him.
Donovan, how much do you feel that your performance in the national championship game against Washington gave you a running start for this season? And looking forward to that matchup in Seattle, is there anything different about the season knowing that it's a Big Ten game?
The way that I look at this is loud. Is this loud? Too loud for y'all? Just a tad bit, right? Hell yeah, my bad. The way that I look at that national championship game, I was just going through a lot mentally and emotionally. It was a roller coaster for me, and I'm not afraid to talk about that. And I was reading the Book of Job because I'm reading the Bible from front to back. So I was in the Book of Job at that time, and if you don't know about that story, everything was taken from Job. He had everything, thousands of cattle, a whole family, beautiful family, and everything was taken from him. And ultimately, God blessed him. He multiplied his blessings, and I think that that's what happened with me after that during that national championship game because I stayed patient, I stayed humbled, and I didn't like curse anybody out. I didn't go against my beliefs or anything like that. I stayed humble in God's eyes. So ultimately, I think that He's blessed me and multiplied my blessings, and I'm going to continue to do everything that I can to uphold that righteousness and be a humble young man.
And then with that Washington game, is there any special relevance to that, knowing it's going to be a Big Ten game versus last year was the national championship? It's kind of two different aspects in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that just like every other game, Washington's going to give their best to us, and we're going to give Washington our best. So, it's going to be great, especially traveling to Washington. Yeah, when they travel here in 2021, it's going to be a very fun game.
Don, do you think you're a different person, player, than you were this time last year?
100%. I say I was a little bit. I'm always confident, but I may have been a little bit arrogant, especially coming off of a great sophomore year. I told Angelique that I wanted to go to the NFL after that year, but I've grown a lot, and I think that I know that I've matured a lot, and you can hear it in my voice when I'm talking to you. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more fluent. You feel me? I'm also me at the end of the day, so I've definitely matured and grew up more.
Why do you think you've matured?
Just because of all the things that have happened. Like, things never went my way. After the Washington game in 2021, I cried in the locker room because like I didn't I wanted the ball, I wanted to get in the game more, and I only had about 2, 4 carries, whatever it was. Like, I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? I was like so hungry, and I've always been hungry, and and I've always been in the backup role my whole career here at Michigan, and you know um, I've always been the number one guy. I've always been having my number called on. So, I had to take a back seat to that. Most people, I believe, they would have transferred out, but I wasn't. Like, I was going to stay the course and stay patient, and, ultimately it's going to pay off for me.
Donovan, until
you
you,
guys
until,
have a target on your back, obviously. What's it like preparing for the season, and does it give you maybe extra motivation knowing
100%. I feel the same way as it was last year. I don't think not a thing is going to change for us this year. Every single day we're going to get better. We're going to challenge ourselves. How can Michigan get better today? How can we be better today than we were yesterday, and make tomorrow better than today? So that's our motto and that's our mindset, and there's no doubt that we're going to be successful this year.
Donovan, you played against Iowa a couple of times. You've had a lot of success against them. They're typically a tough defense to face.
Yeah.
Why are they tough to face, and why have you had so much success?
Because I think that their defensive coordinator, who I got to talk to, man, that's a gritty defense, man. Very technically sound defense who doesn't make mistakes. That's what makes their defense really tough to go up against. And they've had a lot of success, and they deserve all the success that they have had and that they're going to have.
Donovan, until
Are you a reporter?
Yeah.
No doubt.
until you got to Michigan 3 years ago, Ohio State had dominated that rivalry. How much pride do you guys take in having reversed it, and how confident are you? How important is it to you to sustain that?
No doubt. I think for us, it's important to win every single game. We have goals, right? Our goals are to beat all of our rivals, to win another Big Ten championship, and to repeat a national championship. And for us, that's what we're going towards every single day. We're constantly looking to improve every single day. And once those days are stacking up, then ultimately, you're going to continue you're building a foundation, as what Coach Harbaugh said, you're building a callus. So I think that's where we're at. We're just ultimately just getting better every single day, and ultimately just trying to win every single game.
But Ohio State's different in terms of the level of rivalry.
100%.
And the fact that you guys had struggled for so long until the last 3 years. I mean, how much of a point of pride is that for you?
It would mean a lot, but at the same time, it's like you have to treat every game with the same level of importance. We're going to come in week 1, week 2, week 3 with the same mindset of week 12, and that's just Michigan brand of football.
Donovan, how's your relationship with Coach Moore developed from last year into this season, now that he is the head coach?
Having him as a play caller, it was great because he was trying to give me the ball a lot, and sometimes I'm like, damn, can I get the ball, you know what I mean? But ultimately, he was the one, him, Freddie J, Mike Hart, were the ones who, just kept me grounded, It's like, be patient, bro, you know what I'm saying? Stop rushing your time, your time is going to come. And national championship game, my time came, I was forcing it every single game, and, ultimately, those 3 individuals, Coach Moore, especially hearing it from your play caller, it's important to hear. So he helped me out a lot, and, just besides that, it's just my respect for him is so high, and, I love him dearly, and how I said before, this team is going off of how he goes.
What's it mean to have a black coach, especially in this particular conference where you have the most black coaches? What does that mean?
We do?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's great. He's the first African American head coach in Michigan history, and I think it says a lot to our university. We have a lot of supporters of Coach Moore, and we have people that are saying that we can't, we're not going to let him down. And I could say as a player, we won't let him down. And I just believe that the second game, first game, right? One of the two, man. I got a bad memory. I get hit in the head so much. The 4 games that he was the head coach, I believe that it was a glimpse of his career at the University of Michigan, and I'm ultimately excited for him, and I'm blessed he's the head coach, and just for him to be a black head coach, it's a beautiful thing, because he said it earlier. Nobody else clapped for him. I'm disappointed, y'all. He said that regardless of color, being an African American head coach, it shows that that throughout your hard work, that you can achieve anything, and regardless of your color as well, you can achieve anything that you want to, as long as you put your mind to it. Is he over here? Is he over there? Nah, that's my dog.
Donovan, with the chance.
Differences between, as you mentioned, Sharon was the head coach at times last year, but he's still running somebody else's program. Are there anything that you've noticed is maybe different now that it actually is program and he's put his input?
No, there's nothing different. Yeah, you could personality-wise different between him and Coach Harbaugh, but the philosophy is the exact same, and he knows that. It's the same thing with most of our position coaches have left, but these new coaches are Michigan men, and they are living up to the standard that we have created here in 2021 and that has been built. So, Coach Moore has been here through the bad times and the good times. So he knows exactly what to do, and he's going to remain humble, and he's going to ultimately succeed at being the head coach of Michigan.
Hey Donovan, going back to the Ohio State rivalry with the divisions going away, how do you feel about the possibility of facing Ohio State back to back at the end of the season like that?
Like I said before, ultimately, you have to play a who's the schedule, and that's a very, very talented team, a very good team. So ultimately, you just have to play who's on the schedule, and ultimately too, like you're preparing every single day to as I've said, our ultimate goal. So.
USC,
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna get you.
their first Big Ten games at Michigan. What's in store for USC, the Big House, their first Big Ten game?
I think that USC shouldn't change their identity. They've had ultimate success of, the school that they have been, even like since the 70s. You know what I'm saying? Like for a very, very long time, they've had success. So I don't think that they should change a thing coming to the Big Ten.
And then what's it like when a new team comes to that venue for the first time? You see fear in anyone's eyes? Just what comes to mind when a new team comes there?
No, I don't think so. Ultimately, you just have to play your brand of football. I'm a big believer in, your preparation will perform when it's time to perform. So I don't know.
Donovan, when you suffered your knee injury a couple years back, did you ever think that might be it for you in football?
Nah, no.
Growing, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna keep them rolling.
Sorry. Growing up, what were your memories of watching your dad study at night for school and everything?
I think my dad has a huge impact of who I am today, because my dad was a single father raising two kids on his own since I was 2 and my brother was 5. So, it wasn't easy for him. I know that for a fact. I know it was tough for him because, he was still trying to go to school, working 2 jobs, and at the same time raising 2 kids on his own, winging it. So ultimately, I think he did a hell of a job, and I respect and admire my dad very much. My heart is like, right now it's very like compassionate because I know the struggles that he went through and the emotional, you could say like damage and uplifting now that my dad has had to go through. So, my dad is my hero.
How much has education just been in your life, your entire life, impact you?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in always learning anything and everything. So like business or, say somebody like automobiles. I don't know nothing about automobiles, but I'll learn something, because ultimately, you have to, we're supposed to not just be a master in one craft, but in many crafts, and I think that for me, it's not just all about school books, but you have to be worldly educated as well.
How much do you and your teammates internalize what people are saying about you? And do you get a sense that people, want Michigan to fail this year?
Yeah, I mean, having people been saying that for a long time from us, like it doesn't bother us. The only thing that we care about is what's in Schembechler Hall. The people that we see on a day-to-day basis, because they're the ones that know what we go through every single day. So that's the only bond that matters to us. We don't care what naysayers say or what people write about us or what they think about us, or even if they give us credit, because you can always hop on a bandwagon. But we appreciate all the support that we have, though.
How much does Sharon kind of wear that chip on the shoulder? I mean, and kind of use it to kind of motivate players. I mean,
In which way?
Just the chip, the idea that people want to, maybe discredit Michigan or.
I don't think that he cares at all, because everybody's entitled to their own opinions, but you don't have to listen to people's opinions. So I don't think that he minds or cares what people say about us at all.
Donovan, what does it mean for, I guess I have a two-parter, what does it mean to be a part of the first class of college football players in a video game, to kind of be immortalized by a video game? The previous one obviously had numbers but didn't have their last names.
Yeah.
The second part, I'm just curious, how did it come to be, just you being on the cover front and center, and what was your reaction to seeing that?
No doubt. I think for all players that we have a great obligation to do, and that's to be leaders on our own team. It doesn't matter what team you're on. I think that everybody has the obligation to grow as a player and, you know, to be humble with where to be humble in the situation that they're in, and to ultimately be grateful that EA allowed us to be on the video game. What's the second question?
How did that cover come to be?
Right.
What was it like when you actually
So
saw
yeah,
it?
so I got a DM from one of the people at EA, and like, I don't respond to DMs, you feel me? Cause like I don't know, like, I don't know who you are, you feel me? But then one of my representatives called me. He told me that the EA wanted to do a deal with you. I said, well, what's the deal? They said you'd be on the cover of the game. I said, ooh. I said, ooh wee. So you know, I had to take that deal, you know. So very grateful that EA chose me to be on the cover of the game, man. I'm gonna go deeper into that question too. I also look at it as a great obligation for me to represent the program and to be a leader amongst my team, and to, you know, do my absolute best every single day to uplift our standard. And my thing too is, like, I want guys to see like yeah, Donovan has a lot going on for him right now, but you know, you could be in the same situation too. But when you're in this situation, what are you going to do with it? You know, you can either be rude, you could be mean, or you could be a good person. And I want people to choose being a good person, you know, that I could be able to connect to about being on the cover of the game. I'm sorry, one more time.
What's your player rating? What do you think of it?
I already answered that. It could be better, but it's okay.
Don, how does the NIL kind of change? You were telling Angelique, right, you wanted to get to the NFL draft so quickly. How does the NIL kind of change that perspective?
And for me, it hasn't changed at all, because like I'll stay. Like if I had to be in college, I'll be in college with no money. You know, I remember paying for pizzas in quarters and dimes. You know, at one point. You know, so like the money doesn't matter to me. Like I just want to be a successful person. I want to allow people to, you know, be the absolute best person that they could be every single day. So money was not a factor for me.
Donovan, you mentioned you were struggling mentally, emotionally going into the national championship game. Can you?
Not at the national championship.
Tell me a little bit more then about what you were referencing.
Yeah, so like the first couple of games, like, you know, whatever, like, you know, first couple of games, but then like come like week 4, 5, 6, 7, I'm like, damn, like, the hell is this? Excuse my language, by the way. I'm like, damn, like, what's going on? And, you know, ultimately, like, you know, I was just like, it's like all these factors. Like, I'm not getting the ball as much as I want to. Like, I know I'm only gonna go in on third downs. Like, whatever, you know, like, because, you know, like, if you know that you're talented, you know, you proved something already. Like, you would want to be in the game more, which is whatever. Like, you know, I think that's what shaped me into who I am today. But ultimately, I had the choice to, as Coach Harbaugh would say, be bitter or get better. And I chose getting better. You know, like, I continued to root my teammates on. I didn't care who was getting the touches. I didn't care who was getting the touchdowns. I didn't care after the Rose Bowl, more specifically. After the Rose Bowl, I didn't care anymore. So, yeah, like, I just saw a therapist. Mike Hart told me to go see him. When I said, you're right, I need to. And ultimately, you know, I realized I put a lot of expectations on myself, like wanting to get drafted after the season, knowing like, yeah, bro, it might not happen. You know, I put a lot of expectations on myself that I'm not going to do ever again.
And when did you kind of feel that burden start to come off your shoulders?
I'd say like it was probably like maybe before like Penn State, I believe. You know, I was just taking a knee, and you know, like, I had a fire back in my soul, which my Ann Arbor people, my Wolverine people know. I told the story. I felt the fire back in my soul and back in my heart, you know, like what makes me great, you know. And I felt that back, and I was like, yeah, I'm back. Like, I'm back in action.
Donovan, speaking of touches, I asked Blake this question last year. Can you be that 25-carry running back? And what do you have to do from a durability standpoint? And maybe as a yak runner where you can break that? Well, what do you have to work on?
I mean, ultimately, you have to be durable. So I'm weighing 215 right now. Hopefully, I want to get to like 212. So before the season starts, and
what were you weighing last year?
Like 203.
Will that make a difference?
You watch the spring game?
Yeah.
All right then. So, hold on. I'm so sorry. You good. So, yeah, I could be a 25 carry guy. Do I want it? I'll take it if needed to be, but I want other guys to be able to get their touches. I want to be able to, you know, catch the ball too, get like 4 or 5 catches. It doesn't matter, whatever Kirk wants, whatever is best for the team. that's what I want. You know, I could have 25 carries, but ultimately I want Khalil Mullis to get carries. I want Ben Hall to get carries. I want Tybee to get carries. Leon, I want all running backs to get carries, when a number is called on. But to answer your question, yes, I could do it. And I'm confident in it.
Donovan, you talked about how last year was hard for you at moments, and you've also talked about how important father and family is to you. When you were going through those struggles, how did you lean on your family, and how did they help you?
I think I talked to, as a teammate, I talked to Junior Colson a lot more. Different circumstances, He wanted to win a Ronnie Lott Award winner, yeah. And he's in the NFL with Coach Harbaugh. So it was a little bit of a different situation, but ultimately I just had to thug it out. I had to do what was best for me. I had to, dive into myself and see what's the root of your problems. And I realized the root of my problems, and it's like, how are you going to grow from it? And I think that I'm starting to grow from it. So.
And you talked about being that number 2 running back all 3 years that you've been out at Michigan.
Yeah, I was number 3 at one point.
But and now you're going into this year, you are expected to be that number 1 guy. Do you think that just getting more carries a game can help you get into a groove, get a higher yards per carry, and things like that?
To go back to your question, I don't look at myself as that. I look at our running back room as complementary to all of us. So, I told the guys, I told them I was going to outwork each and every one of our running backs. I told them, and that was my challenge to see, are you going to compete with me? Because I'm going to compete. Are you guys going to compete with me? And believe me, they have been competing. But what was the question? The second question, my bad.
Oh, sorry. Just going off of that. More
Right. The rhythm. Hell, yeah, man. As a running back, you have to get a rhythm of the game. You don't ask a quarterback, hand the ball off 15 times, and now I want you to run I want the receiver to run a post route and cover 3. I want you to throw it 50 yards. I want you to throw it 50 yards. The pass might not be there, he's not in the rhythm. So, yeah, that's not just me. That's for any player in the game. You have to get into a rhythm of the game.
You're not just number 1 back. You're on the cover of the video game. You're one of the first dudes. What sort of status comes with that?
Questions like that.
And how do you carry the responsibility of being one of the faces of the program? Right?
It's just like I've been talking about, man. I have a platform now that I could talk about what I want to talk about, and my platform is talking about righteousness. Though I'm not a perfect person, I try to do my best to do right, and that's kind of my ultimate goal is to, uplift God's words in His name into other people, so people could thrive and people could, unite as people and, to be better individuals and for that to be a repeated cycle.
West Bloomfield is really well represented.
That's right. Shout out to Makari Page. Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
You mentioned two-parter, just how special is that bond that you guys made in high school together, and to see you guys maintain that relationship despite being at rival schools.
Yeah. So me and Dylan actually just did a deal with Mike Morse. Shout out to Mike Morse. We did a deal together, a commercial shoot, and it was no loss, no bad blood, a little chit chat, but ultimately we talked. I talked to him yesterday, or whenever he was here yesterday, and I'm going to continue to talk to him throughout the season. So it's just a brotherhood and a bond that him and I have. I'm not sure about the other guys. You have to ask that, but. It's like Trey Mosley when he was at Michigan State, too, still talking to him. Lance Dixon when he was at Penn State, still talking to him, Taj Mustafa, A.J. Abbott, Wisconsin, it's always going to be love, and, I think Coach Bill did a hell of a job grooming us to the young men and the men that we're becoming.
What's the difference between Jim Harbaugh and Sharon Moore?
I'd just say personality, it's just like other people, you might have a different personality than Isaiah over here, you know what I'm saying? It's nothing besides that, personality-wise, nothing different at all.
I mean, to be fair, does anyone have Jim Harbaugh's personality? It's going to be different from everybody.
I might have a little bit.
Okay.
Jim
You got a
Harbaugh.
little bit? Rubbed off on you a little?
Bit.
How do you rub off on you?
I mean, he's just a hell of a coach. I talked to him probably 3 days ago, too, so.
Donovan, loaded question, but how do you guys react to Ohio State being your favorite after you guys won the conference twice in a row?
That's fine. you know, people always put stuff to paper, you know, but ultimately, you know, it's nothing that we haven't been through at all at Michigan. So, you know, ultimately, we're going to do whatever it takes to win every single game this year.
You guys, there's a chance you play Michigan back-to-back weeks. There's a chance you play them 3 times in one
Play
season.
Michigan?
Oh, play
Ohio
Ohio State.
State.
Sorry.
No doubt.
How do you feel about the opportunity of getting, you know, that
Last
rivalry
question,
game,
please.
a couple times a year, maybe?
Like I said before, you're going to have to play whoever you're scheduled to play. So, you know, excuse me, every game that we're going to, every game that we're playing, we're going to take it as, you know, getting better every single week and doing our best to win every single football game.
All right, thank you all for your time.